Hey Woodhounds, welcome back to the Back 40 Firewood channel. Today, I'm out in the woodshed restocking things. But this year, I think I'm going to do things a little bit different when it comes to filling up my woodshed. As you can see, I've already got a good amount of wood stacked in here. Generally, I try to get this shed as full as I can stacked, because in the past, I didn't have any way of moving wood around. So like in the winter, once it started to snow, I didn't have any way to go out there and get wood from like another stack, back in the wood yard and bring it in. But now I do. I have the Coyote, and she can help me gather up wood as I need it during the winter. So I don't necessarily need to get all of my wood in the shed. So I already started filling in the woodshed here with all this oak that I stacked in, and then I have this pine right here. But what I have is I have a pile of big, snarly, what I call ugly wood. Stuff from that big twisted maple, and then there's big hunks like that. And that stuff doesn't stack in here very well. I'm thinking if I just throw that stuff in here loose, it'll probably equal out to taking up as much space as if I tried to stack it all in here. And I'll show you the pile that I have in a little bit. But I have one nice pile of oak that I think what I'll do is from this edge right here over to the shed, I'm going to build a wall about 4 feet high, and then I can just toss or even dump the wood into the middle there, and then just leave it all kind of loosely piled in there. So this is the one pile that I want to move, and you can see my tarp is in pretty bad shape. It worked good to keep the snow off, but now when it starts to rain, I think this stuff would be better off in the shed. And yeah, you can see there's just odds and end pieces that are just twisted splits, big chunks. I mean, that stuff there, that piece isn't. There's no consistent size to the splits. And then the other stack is right there. And that's the stack I'm going to build the wall with on the end. So that's the plan right now. Get this big pile of ugly wood into the woodshed. I got Khaleesi warming up. She's ready to go. So let's get to it. You can see that stuff doesn't stack up very nice in the bucket either. But it's a lot of wood. You can see some of this big stuff. It might stack out all right, but then there's this twisted stuff. That won't stack good. And then like big hunks like this, I think it's better to just leave it. Just throw it in here loose and let it kind of just, I don't know, I think that'll be the best plan instead of wasting time trying to stack this all. I just gotta watch driving in here. I almost knocked that stack over. So if you're wondering why I didn't move this stack of wood into the woodshed before I started, so I could get to that pile back there easier, this stack of wood here is actually already sold. All right, so I've got most of the bigger chunks of that maple in here. I got a couple more buckets to bring over, but now I'm going to start filling in this end wall with that stack of oak. And so the nice thing about doing this is that when I come across kind of oddball shaped pieces like this that might not stack so good, I can just toss them back there. This piece, a little bent, I can just throw them behind where this wall is going to go. And then I also have like chunks like this. So what happened here was this was some oak that was dropped off from a tree service, and some of the pieces they had already cut were a little too, they weren't, you know, this one was like 16, probably 23 inches long or so. So I cut off 7-8 inches into this chunk. Can't really sell this, but it's still good to burn, so I'm keeping it for myself. That is the one downside to getting wood dropped off from like a tree service, is sometimes they don't make cuts that are, you know, divisible by 16 or 18 or whatever. So like here's another example of a chunk that too short, it's left over. It's too short to really sell. It's a nice big chunk of oak, so it works perfect for feeding the boiler. There it is. All that oak stacked in, filled in the front of the woodshed here. And back behind it, it's all filled in. So all those big chunks of maple and there was some oak. You can see it's all just loosely stacked in there. There's some bigger air pockets and gaps down there, but I think if I would have stacked this in here, I probably would have got, I don't know if I would have saved that much room. I maybe would have gotten a little more space, but now I can continue throwing it in here and pile this up even higher if I wanted to. And I can fill in this end over here, so I can still get a lot of wood in here if I want to. But the big advantage now that I have with the Coyote is that during the winter, if I have a stack of wood back in the wood yard and I need to bring that in, I can go back and get it. And I can bring in a bucket or two, you know, every other week or whatever I need. I don't need to have all of my wood in this woodshed now. This wood already has been drying since last September, October. So it should be ready to go this fall. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. If you think I'd have gotten more space in the shed here with it stacked, or do you think this is good enough just loosely tossing it in here, and I maybe would have gained, I don't know, a few more cubic feet if I would have stacked it. But like I said, now I can get wood to my shed during the winter, where before I couldn't do that. So I think this might be pretty good for the shed right now. So thanks for watching. We'll see you guys next time. Stay safe, have fun, and be cool.